Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. TiE Chennai welcomes you all for the Indic Way Session 3, Leaders and Leadership. Thank you for being here. Now I take this opportunity to introduce the speakers. Now I would like to say a few words about Mr.R.Ramaraj. Mr.R.Ramaraj is a serial entrepreneur who has been involved in ventures in IT, cellular and internet. His last venture was City, where he was the co-founder and chief executive officer, and is also the senior advisor of Sequoia Capital. In 2010, the Confederation of the Indian Industry recognized him with a Lifetime Achievement Award. Thank you, sir. And now I would like to say a few words about Mr. K.K. He is an alumnus of IIT Madras and IIM Calcutta. He's been involved with the IT industry in India since 1985. He was the advisor of the Searching Information which is also CIPI, between 1997 and 2002. Mr. J.K. started his own software development company called the Networking Technologies in 1992. He successfully exited his venture. Mr. J.K. promoted Immunity Solutions in 2007 and currently he is the MD and the CEO of the company. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Badri. Good evening.
Good evening.
Delightful to be back here, which we can take from our own Indian and Vedic literature, useful for us in our professions, in our life, in building businesses, in every aspect of going after achievement. And it's under that same premise that therefore just because it is Indian and it is Vedic, it has nothing to do with either retirement, sannyas, going away into the forest, detachment, and all these aspects that we sometimes carry with us the moment we say Indian and Vedic. It's all about achievement, and therefore, after that introductory session, we received some feedback that it would be good to do a series that exposes us to the same thing. And that's the basis on which we came up with the Indic way. Giving you a little, we covered in session 1 the wisdom of the ages, in session 2 building and growing yourself. We're going to focus on leaders and leadership in this session, and 4th, 5th and 6th would lead us towards therefore of the sages, all our own backgrounds, whether it was in education, whether it was in corporate life. We may all got exposed to what Harvard Business Review says, what Kotler says, what Michael Porter says, what some others say. Not that all of that is not useful or relevant, but that is one way of thinking about different aspects, whether it's of business, it's of life, it's of in that particular session. And then in the previous session, therefore, this whole series is towards building our own businesses. But before we can build our businesses, we need to build ourselves. That is fundamental. Only after we can build ourselves are we fully capable and empowered to build our businesses. Therefore, in this session, we started to focus on what is it to build and grow ourselves. And we went through 2 important components or competencies that we require. Official business. We said there are 2 fundamental areas we need to focus on, which is how to deal with events and situations and how to deal with relationships. And if we therefore know how to deal with events and situations and relationships, we know how to deal with life and to come out successful or to meet the objectives that we go after in that. But dealing with situations, because paucity of time, we will take it up in session 5 when we talk of the superior person. So this is where we come so far, building ourselves as individuals, but then building ourselves as leaders. Let's get some exposure to what our own ancient wisdom, ancient strategies for a king, as given by various powerful thinkers of the ancient era, and therefore the leadership of the Indic way, in how we perceive or we think other aspects are getting covered in the thinking of our ancient sages, thought leaders, and kings. Ram, anything? So who's the leader? Is it based on strength? Our leaders. Is it financial strength only? Is it therefore based on strength? What do you all think?
No, certainly.
Certainly not. Okay, we'll leave it there. Is it based on ability? Therefore, team building, decision making, problem solving, strategic thinking. So, is it therefore based on ability and ability alone?
Not ability alone, but ability.
Ability? Okay.
Reason.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Is it based on attitude?
Yes.
Risk taking, achievement, orientation. Who holds the reins? And therefore, in that little boy, what is leadership in different ways as we go through? In some way, got exposed to, let's say, a Ram. It's not that we need to be an authority or we need to know it in detail, but we have some exposure. I'm just putting up this map to say, this is the map of the late Vedic period, and therefore, all the kings have ruled territories which is in some way a combination of Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Nepal. Okay. And therefore Sita, Janaka, all that which we know of Ramayana is of this Videha territory, Bihar plus Nepal in some way. Kosala is Rama's territory, Ayodhya being the capital. Kuru, which is Hastinapura, is where therefore the Kauravas and the Pandavas and their own kingdoms were there. So just to get us some basis for Duryodhana is one villain. All this is based on only what we know and what we are exposed to. I want to think through what we think is common in all these kings. Anybody? What do you think is common? Then I want to take what is different. What is common? Somebody.
Right people into a single purpose.
Try and give me some keyword rather than leadership quality.
See, every one of them were unique. You cannot compare. In fact,
Input when we discuss differences. First I want to focus on commonalities, then I want to take the differences. Yes?
they kept their teams united.
They kept their teams united. Heroes, supporters and followers. Then, therefore, Kumbhakarna says, okay, I'm going to go and fight for you. What you've done is wrong. Karna, his 99 brothers, and this 11 Akshaunis, which means another 2.5 million people, ready to give up their lives for Duryodhana. Which made sure that he had his relationships and he had people who respected him. Each one was able to inspire, which is a commonality, is not there, but that's why he brought in those advisors. Each one of them depended on advisors and some weaknesses or deficiencies. Each one. None of them was this only great times. From the time Sita is abducted, Lakshmana, Sugriva talk to him to say, hey, you are a Kshatriya, get out of this. You can't be like that. A mind which is despondent and desolate can never get the strength to go forward and take the next step. We need to take the next step. Other people around him give him that encouragement, do that, to lift him up. At some stage, therefore, they show that they are human beings. Ravana has great strength. He stands by his friends. He says, my friend, you've done this, okay, take that country. My friend, you are in trouble, you now take this. When Duryodhana elders, ask my parents, ask my brothers, ask my friends, commonality, human beings, pluses and minuses, and each one dependent on advisors, Krishna, Bhishma, Vidura, all of them, and therefore, those are some of the commonalities. What are the differences? I think you wanted to keep our lunch, I want to say, this is the software layer of each one of us. There's a hardware layer, which I don't want, but the basic elements of which is fire, and then Vayu, which is air, and Akasha, which is ether or sky. A combination of this is in the hardware layer of how creatures are created. They are all in. I'm going to take some parallels of this when we go and build our own teams to say which of these is good for different roles in our own corporate organization. So let us first understand, therefore, the three gunas exist, and these three gunas and their permutation combinations exist in each one of us, which is why each one of us is different. Morality and dharma, according to him. And we'll start. Bhishma has some lovely things to say. Bhishma, I think in an earlier session I was sharing with you, Yudhishthira and Bhishma, when Bhishma had been felled in battle and therefore he was lying on a bed of arrows, waiting for the appropriate time, auspicious time for him to give up his life and move on. So over nearly 50 days, Yudhishthira goes to him every morning, spends time till the evening, asks him over 300 questions on different aspects of how to be a king, what is life, how to do different things, and for each one of them, Bhishma is able to give him some answers. It's in one of those that Yudhishthira asks him, what are my kingly duties as a king? And there he takes him, and one of the lovely things which he says, which is useful to us, he says, one of the most important things for a king is promptitude of exertion. The words, promptitude of exertion. It's not only exertion, but the promptitude. It has to be done now, it has to be done now. Promptitude of exertion. Event has started. Can we then say destiny may have a role to play subsequently?
Enough. Timeliness is as important as thinking. Let him act quicker next time. So, it is all about the speed of exertion, which is what Bhishma also said. Don't just analysis, paralysis. So,
Vidura, just to share, minister in Duryodhana Dhritarashtra's court, but Vyasa's son, of advice to physical power. Second, he talks of the power of people who need to be around you. You must have good ministers.
life. This is now not a hope in hell. But, I'm a diet. If my intellect is not strong enough, I will have that bread pudding that we had there. How do you get that intellect? What is the intellect? We confuse the intellect. It's an equipment, which means like a gym for the body, you need to strengthen it. We confuse it with intelligence, which is knowledge that we pick up by reading. To be an engineer, you need the intelligence of that engineering knowledge or medicine or whatever. Know right from wrong. To know what to do at the right time. If it is available, at the end I had not said that. Oh, I wish I had done it differently. It's an equipment, and we'll talk about it sometime, about how we can strengthen it. And just drawing your attention that we have an equipment called the intellect, which we need to strengthen in order to be a great leader, in order to stay in control, to do all this. So,
Take a guess what it could be?
Not fish.
Thinking was, in the absence of Danda, the big fish in the society would eat the small fish, and only Matsya Nyaya is therefore that ability for the big fish to gobble up small fish, nobody to protect the small fish, absence of Danda Niti, and therefore they wanted to make sure that Matsya Nyaya doesn't prevail. Do we think these are parallels? Do we think these are relevant? Do we think this still exists without my permission, without my knowledge? And that is what, as per Dharma, you need to do. Ikita says, yes, fine. Goes to the king. King, because he knows he's a sage, he tells him, please let me know what has already done. These are lovely ways I have found, the language and the way in which things are done. Please let me know the purpose of your visit, but please consider whatever you wish has already been done. It's the way they give respect to different people who come. That's what it says. So Likita says, hey, this is what I've done. I took this fruit without the permission of my brother, equivalent to steal. But the king makes one statement, which is what I wanted to share. Whether a particular act deserves punishment or it deserves pardon. That was the power of that dialogue and that thought. That therefore kings know wielding of the danda is not without due consideration of various other things, and the statement always stood in my mind for themselves. Therefore, that you need countermeasures and things in terms of how administration is done. Because there are components which we need to again take. Kautilya, which is Chanakya's theory. Kingdom has these 7 instances. Durga is the 4th. Kosha is the treasury. Bala is the army. Mitra are friends. And I'm going to lead up to that. I want to say what is it which therefore happens in a king and his team and how it is useful for us today as leaders. That's the whole purpose of this particular thing. All kings had on his own would not be able to rule the kingdom, just as a single wheel is in no way capable of moving the chariot. And therefore, there is no need that we need to do this ourselves. Our first thing that I want to take as learning from all of this is that for us as leaders, only if we are able to surround ourselves with ministers, friends and advisors, etc. There are some aspects which are not come out, which is for lead. It's written and don't we have this thinking? I want to take somebody in a very senior position. Should I take my classmates? Isn't it good for me? I want a co-promoter. Shouldn't I take my classmates? Isn't it good for me? They know me, I know them. Do you think this is relevant? Do you think this is a debate? This is a thinking on how to select ministers.
Discussed. You say that, yeah, I know this guy, or I know how he behaves, and
Yeah.
I can predict and all that.
Yes.
Which is what? And therefore, look for quality, qualification, and the ability to execute.
Perhaps that is where it's a challenge for whoever takes that call.
Yeah. So it goes back to my favorite theme, intellect. So apply. And objectivity in the selection. That's what it is all about.
And that's when a leader makes a difference. Not in normal times when it's a little easier. And therefore, friends and enemies. There's a lovely story of Palita and Lomasa. I shared this in an earlier session, but there are lots of new people. You'll really enjoy able to deal with friends as well as enemies. So the story goes like this. On top of the tree. Palita is a mouse living in a hole at the bottom of the banyan tree. A hunter has now come to that forest. He'll come and he'll take whatever animals have been caught in that trap and take them out. I think there's nobody, I know how to get it, gets on top of the nets, and as it is eating, nibbling at those pieces of meat, its legs get caught in the trap and it is there as far as Palita is concerned. As it does that, a few has come on top of the tree and now looking at Palita, ready at any point of time. This happened to me. I thought the cat was caught here, but now suddenly 2 of my other enemies are there. My favorite thing. A person of intellect shall never lose their balance in times of stress. 2 sworn enemies are looking and they may gobble me up any time. I am in a position to help you. 2 are in a position to help me out if you allow me to come and place myself under your body. Earlier occasions when we have been enemies. Lomasa says, you are a wise person, I am in difficulty and therefore please proceed, come under me and I shall protect you and make sure that after that you keep up your end of the bargain and that get me free out. So owl goes away, mongoose says, hey, no point waiting for this fellow anymore, I might as well go somewhere and look for food, and the mongoose also goes away. And Palita is now free. I held up my side of the bargain. I now see that you are doing your work very slow. Palita says, no, take my word that I will honor what I told you. spotted, your mind will be on escaping and going back up the tree and not on me. But if I release it now, your intent would be on gobbling me up. So I will aspect called ambassadors and spies, and then I wanted to tie it up with the last. We finished it after that. See the particular king. And the ambassador has to be powerful enough to hold his own in the other king's court, yet deliver messages as they need to be delivered. To me, the ambassador is the equivalent of our sales executives. Lot of us do not know whether our marriage, a lot of presentations I have seen which are apologetic, which are first try and let me see if I can please that customer, behave in a manner, and then we think that that's the one which will give us whatever are the results that need to be there. There's a particular situation where the path of the kingdom from the Kauravas. Duryodhana is in no mind to give even one needle point of land. But if in a peaceful way Duryodhana doesn't accept to give us what is due to us, we are equally ready for war. But this message needs to be Sama, which is one of the strategies, somewhere here got the 4 upayas, through the use of that Samam, which is conciliation, and through an approach like that, you deliver something. So they select a very, I'm coming back to saying, if our sales executives need to be trained, they need to be ambassadors like that. This person goes there and he says, look, all of you assembled here are sons of the same father, and therefore both Pandu and Dhritarashtra are entitled to that paternal property. The sons of Pandu and the sons of Dhritarashtra are therefore equally entitled to that paternal property. The sons of Dhritarashtra got their share of kingdom. Sons of Pandu asked that what they deserve, what needs to be given as part of the agreement, should now be given. The message is, please therefore do not allow this opportunity to pass. That is the ambassador's presentation. That is the ability we should make sure that sales executives or ambassadors of ours, in how we present ourselves, our company, the proposition or anything else, please do not allow this opportunity to pass. Give me the order. How many of our people need to have Rajas? Sales people need to have Rajas. Rajas is the driving force of energy for action. Marketing guys, strategic guys may have more of Sattva. Our own people, therefore in our own organizations, people first, their protection, prosperity and well-being. Equip yourself with an army for treasury and governance, equally valid for each one of us. For the right tasks and the roles and responsibilities that we need, friends and allies, and having them with us, wielding the Dhanda to be leaders. Protect your own territory by increasing the market share. That's how we want to connect up to say that therefore the Indic way, with all those which have come, and the leadership of the Indic way, still to move toward
to have all these people aligned to doing whatever for success, there has to be a purpose and an alignment of purpose. Only then would all these people come. And then how do you act? In the scriptures, when you are acting, you need to concentrate. It's easy to say concentrate. What does concentration mean? It means that your action is focused on the present, on the here and now, and not worried about what you did wrong in the past or what is going to come in the future. And if you can focus your action, then that is concentration. Consistency of action. We have defined a purpose. Often we get distracted that we think can distract even somebody as powerful as Vishwamitra. That you lose your consistency of action. How can you focus priorities? If our priorities are consistent with our purpose, whether it is at 5 in the afternoon or as some have said 6, you are here because it's a priority. you have found the time from your busy schedule. Understand that without a team, it is not possible. How to choose the right team and all of that is what JK has been saying. But the 3 C's is after you have a clear. Yeah. Okay, here, others I'll get the mic. That it is an equipment, and therefore, like we do a gym, what JK calls this as a spiritual gym, we need to be able to differentiate between intelligence and the equipment, the intellect.
It's more powerful, available to us. So let's step back and understand why does sometimes the intellect gets clouded. I want to use the term clouded because when the intellect is clouded, no decision of yours is going to be taken in a manner where the discriminating power that you have is brought to use.
Really interesting. But my thing is somehow the Indian point is always holistic. What Gestalt psychology talks about is the whole is always different from the sum of the parts.
In the presence of Bhishma, in the presence of Drona, in all the presence of Acharyas, I am again sharing the knowledge which has been lost.
Because a king being equated to a leader, how do you think that, how about Chanakya, taking the example of Chanakya and Krishna?
Differentiating that the kings were the people who were involved in the action, where these people gave strategic inputs of some form.
Were they really selected by the king? If they were not, how would you find advisors?
Down through the ages. But they were all selected. And they themselves are recommending the method for selection. Saying, don't do it just because grandfather, father, etc. have been in. And I'm just taking call center as an example of maybe what's a monotonous routine job, maybe it is. Then how do you find the right person?
Single person, he's a leader and he has all these things surrounding us. In terms of a company, when we have partners, both are co-founders, so how do that situation come? Like who is the king, or how do we collaborate in terms of actually, say when you say minister, you said VP, when you said...
There's no joint leadership. Even if there are partners, equal co-founders, it's good to say, in this area I am king, in this area you are king. It cannot be that both of us are kings and jointly we shall, it's not going to work.
How will you resolve disputes? When they are, not when. Not if, but when. So that there is a clear understanding of how you will go about it.
I had. The basic premise is people are evil. Now,
it may not be relevant today. I'm just saying that was at that time.
Okay.
So I don't want to say, that's why I said it may still be true. In a pure corporate...
You will replicate this prism again and again.
No, I understand that. I understand that. But in an overall society, can we think of a society in which there is no need for law, no need for the police?
For them,
no, I'm just saying. So it may still be valid in a larger society, may not be as valid for just a company and the employees that we have. Yeah, sure.
You can call it as appraisal needing.
And you know what will happen. So it is not that because it is Dr. Srinivasan is going to be something, because it's JK it's something else.
Appraisal is the only way of...
No. We'll take it offline.
Plus,
Thank you.
Thank you all.